Because we went from school, then he went from there to Singapore, like a bonehead. But let's talk about.
You're sitting on the sidelines. Get involved, brother.
But your first professional contract, because after school, your first professional contract was where in Canada, or you left and went? Because I know you went to a few places before you came to Singapore. So
yeah.
I don't know. You want to just because I know after you finish school, people never get into actually what they actually go to school for.
Yeah.
Right. So how was that? Like you went straight to soccer. Did you think I'm gonna go to soccer, or I was gonna?
Well, the process for me was a little bit different because I'd done 3 years and I was put forward for the draft.
For the MLS.
Yeah,
wow.
Because I did real well. I was the first ever first team All-American in my program and did really well with it. And the program had kind of gone from being quite average to just being a powerhouse, which it is now. But I'd kind of been entered. It'd been talked that I was going to be entered into this, and so I had to decide at the time whether I signed with an agent, I stay in America, or I leave and go back to Europe. And I think it was. You'll know what this is like, John, when you're playing in the States or you're at school there, the goal of everyone is to go to Europe. And so I was almost semi-brainwashed in this, I'm going to finish and I'm going to go back to Europe.
Yeah, okay.
But in all honesty, like I went back to Europe and I was like, this is not really what I wanted. I left it for a reason. And so then I was like, I wanted to actually go back to America and it was difficult for me to re-enter because I'd left on the student visa, which was a one-time entry. So when I was supposed to re-enter the country, I couldn't get back in.
Wow.
And so I ended up crossing the border and going to Canada. I had a lot of friends who was there and playing there, and so I crossed the border, which was supposed to be temporary.
Temporary. I don't blame you. You know what I mean? I don't blame you. When you go over there, you don't want to come back.
Yeah.
Yet he left. Yet here we are in Singapore.
Yeah. So that was. I stayed in Canada for a little bit, and I've got family there and stuff as well. And like I said, I knew a few coaches and friends there, and so I just wanted to kind of wait that process out, and my agent at the time was trying to negotiate something in America for me to go back. And at that point, obviously everyone had been drafted, clubs had already kind of started to establish the squads and lock them in, and so it was I was almost chasing it at that point. So that year for me was I'd kind of accepted it was going to be a write-off, and I felt comfortable where I was, and so I thought I'll stay there for the year, and I stayed in Canada, and then ended up going to Ottawa Fury.
And that was the first professional contract.
Yeah, well, so they was becoming a new franchise in the NASL.
Yeah.
And the owner, John Pugh, is actually English. He's been in Canada. He'd been there in Ottawa for a long time, and he actually did really well, I believe, in the first ever internet boom in like 1970. I think it was. Like he was one of the first people who. Don't quote me on the 1970 thing, but he was one of the first people to actually, I think, build a website or like do something with the internet, and so he did really well in that. He subsequently bought the franchise, which was linked to the hockey team in Ottawa. Is it the Royals, the Senators?
Oh, the Senators,
yeah, and the baseball, or the football team. Do you ever see a
CFL?
Yeah, it's kind of all one similar franchise, all the sports. But anyway, yeah, I ended up staying there and. Had a real cool time there. I loved it. It was just kind of getting to that point at the end of the season where it was starting to get freezing, and I was like, I don't know how you guys do this. It's cold, proper cold. I mean, England's cold, but that was Baltic.
How you said Baltic?
Like fingers hurting,
it's in your bones,
and
you can't hide from
ears. It was cold. It was rough. But yeah, I stayed there for a little bit, and then ended up I went on trial in Norway. I kind of semi had a contract offer there, and we went there as a kind of a test to see how I liked it, how I fitted in.
What team in Norway was it?
It was Sandefjord FC.
Okay.
Which were in the Norwegian Premier League.
Norwegian accent right there.
Yeah, Sandefjord. It's nice, it's cool. Again, super cool experience. I was struggling at the time. I was going through a lot of things personally that I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Once you get on that train, you know what it's like, John, after you graduate, you become so comfortable. Obviously football is and was all I love, but you come out of that experience and it's just everything is so comfortable, right? As a college athlete, I think that's one of the dangers. And I came out of it, and then obviously you go back into the professional world, which is ruthless. It's results. You're a commodity at that point, right? And so you kind of babied a little bit, as a student athlete, I think, in America. Although amazing parts to it, but you do get babied a little bit. You become like a big fish in a small pond.
Because you're already an asset that they're trying to make sure they take care of, and you can be in the best position to produce and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And I think you only get that in the professional level once you're established as a star. Like Messi and Neymar and those kind of guys, I'm sure they get that kind of treatment. But if you're a dude working your way up, right? I mean, this is something you guys can speak on. Is that what it's like as you're moving up the ranks?
Yeah. How was it after Norway? What?
Yeah. I ended up going to I went to Australia. I wanted to be in a Western country, in all honesty. I wanted to I felt having that comfort of similar home comfort and culture and language even. So I went there, and then I got the offer in Singapore to come over here, and so I ended up coming from Australia to here to sign.
So you went from, what team in Australia were you?
I was training with Perth.
Oh, Perth Glory.
But I'd been there like 2 months. And so at the time I was like, am I going to sign here? Am I going to stay? Am I not going to stay? It was still kind of up in the air and very volatile. And so when I had the offer to come here, I just came straight away. And the idea at the time, obviously, I knew certain people who was playing here, John Wilkinson and stuff, and I knew obviously Dan Bennett and stuff, and I knew obviously they was being nationalised, and I was still at an age where I thought that was something I would be interested in. So I took it. So I came over, and the rest was history, really.
And that was when you went to Haugang.
Went to Haugang. I was supposed to go to Home United originally.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
When did you guys meet? Because I don't think I've ever.
This is. And that just about does it for us here at A Single Point of View. So stay tuned for the next episode as we post updates and sneak peeks on our Instagram at Single Point of View. Don't forget it. Also follow us at Single Point of View on YouTube. Stay locked in on all of the full episodes as well as our short clips of each show. We'd like to thank our podcast sponsors, June, Proform Basketball Academy, and Puma, of course. Also, special shout out to the media manager, Sana, to our logo artist, Alicia Webb, and our advisor/assistant executive producer, Donovan Lang. Peace!
In due time, babe, it's me and you time. From sunrise till the depths of moonlight. It's your world, but you're still a star, girl. And if you stay by my side, I swear to do right.